What's up? It's your girl Mia, aka Miss Prophet. On this video, I want to discuss bloodlines, and I just want to reiterate the things that I stated on my animal blooded video, which is, the topic about how I believe that non-black people are half-blooded animal, and they are not a representation of the African bloodline. Okay, and also I want to show pictures to prove that claim, and I also want to discuss what I believe they're here to do. Okay, as I stated on my other videos, I believe that the Africans represent the original bloodline from God, and I believe that the Africans and only the Africans were created in God's image. Okay, and I believe that these other people got here because of sin against God. That's how they got here. Okay, and it wasn't out of good, it was out of bad. Okay, and I believe that there's an African tribe, and then there's a straight-headed tribe, and I think all straight-headed people come from the same tribe, or they might come from different tribes, I don't know, but they're not a representation of the African gene. That's all I do know. Okay, and then you have Africans, and we all have different tribes of Africans, and we represent the original bloodline for God. Okay, and that's what I believe, and I just want to shed some light on this particular issue. Okay, you black people need to be aware of this, because y'all need to understand what's going on the world, because y'all living under the matrix that these Europeans created to keep you in mental slavery, keep you brainwashed. Okay, non-black people are not a representation of the African gene. We do not have the same DNA, and the Europeans try to convince us that we all have 99.1 of the same DNA, and we do not. Okay, that is a lie. We black people do not have the same DNA as these other people, and the proof is in our offspring. When we have sex with these creatures, our children do not come out looking African. So if African genes are the most dominant, and then we're mating with people that are part of the African gene, then that means our kids should look African. They should never look like them. Okay, this is the lie. This is the illusion that these Europeans are trying to convince us to believe. Okay, they're trying to make us think that anytime we have sex with a non-black person, we're having black babies, when it's clear and obvious in their physical characteristics that that's not true. They're not black. They're not a representation of the African gene. Okay, y'all know what biracial people look like on average, and they do not look African. You could tell that they're different from the Africans. Okay, those children are not a representation of African blood. Okay, they are not a part of the African gene at all. Okay, and y'all need to understand that this is very important. Okay, so I just want to show you pictures to back up my claims. Okay, first I want to say, I want to get into black people and our physical characteristics, so you can understand why we look the way we look, and what our physical our melanin and our hair and these physical things that we have. I want you to understand that what purpose they serve. Okay, because they were created for a divine purpose. Okay, God had a purpose for melanin, and he had a purpose for our hair texture. Okay, first of all, melanin protects your skin from the harsh elements of the sun and the impurities on the earth. Okay, and when God said he made Adam from the dust of the ground, he meant the melanin. Okay, the melanin is a form of dirt. Okay, that's why when we black people take showers and baths, we have that ring around our tub that we have to scrub out of our tub, because it's our melanin, it's our dirt coming off of our skin. Okay, and he's trying to let you know what you made out of. Every time your skin starts shedding off and it stains the tub, he letting you know what you are. Okay, so that's what he meant when he said he made Adam of the dust of the ground. He's talking about black people. Okay, so, and also our hair acts as a hat. It's designed for a purpose, which is protection from the heat. Also, it's a protection, like we fall or something like that. Our hair acts as a cushion, and it also attracts electricity. Okay, it's like an antenna. It attracts electricity. Okay, and it serves a purpose, and you black people need to understand that. Okay, as we go forward. Now, these pictures that I'm about to show you are pictures of these birth defects in other races, and I just want you to see that we are not a representation of them, and they are not a representation of the African gene. Okay, this first picture that I'm going to show you is of a European that has produced a tail. Okay, on many occasions, white people produce tails. Okay, their spinal cord splits off and then it turns into a tail. Okay, it's like it forms into a tail. Okay, I don't know how it happens or whatever because I haven't studied it enough to understand, but I just know it's a spinal cord that splits off from their back and turns into a tail. Okay, this happens on many occasions that where they produce tails and they have to get it cut off in the hospital. Okay, and I want y'all to understand this is because they're not human. They think that they're humans, but they're not. Okay, and I want y'all to understand that. Okay, also, not only do they produce tails, they also produce fur from their heads. Okay, anybody with eyes can see that that's fur growing from their heads. That is not hair. Okay, we black people need to start really, researching things and coming up with our own theories and ideas because these people are programmed. Okay, all of us are programmed because the Europeans teach us. They teach us what they want us to know, and then they teach us stuff that's lies. So we can be brainwashed and not even believe our own eyes when we see things. Okay, because all you black people know damn well that that's fur growing from their heads. That's not hair. Okay, they don't look like no hair. They don't no regular hair. They look like fur. Okay, and also they attract lice to their fur. Okay, they get lice. They get insects in their hair. Why? Because insects are attracted to fur. That's why they get lice. That's why they have to shampoo their hair daily because first of all, their hair turn into straw. Second of all, they'll attract all kinds of insects to their hair because they're not full-blooded human like I stated before. Okay. Not only that, they're missing. Europeans are missing a high percentage of their melanin. Okay, they cannot produce a high percentage of melanin because they are not a representation of the African gene. Okay, and as I stated, melanin serves a purpose, and these people can't produce a high percentage of melanin. Okay, they are exposed to all kinds of skin diseases because they're missing a whole bunch of layers of skin. They can't even stay out in the sun that long without sunscreen because their skin is missing. All right, this is not normal. God didn't intend for nobody's skin to be missing. Okay, so I don't know where these people came from, but they're not a representation of the African gene. Okay, and I know we see albinos, and we think that white people are albinos, but they're not. Okay, you can clearly see that albinos, they don't look like white people. Okay, they don't have the physical features of a European. They have features of a black person, and most of the time when we have give birth to albinos, their face, their hair might be like blonde or of a light color, but usually the texture of their hair is still like African hair. Okay, so we know that Europeans are not albinos. Okay, they're not a representation of the African gene at all. Okay, in any shape, way, or form. And I want y'all to understand that. Okay, this is another birth defect that I want to show you on this picture. These boys, they're called the wolf boys from Mexico. Okay, and they produce fur all over their face, legs, hands, and bodies. Okay, and y'all have to understand all of the these birth defects and diseases that I'm showing you, they're all hereditary. Okay, they're passed down from their genes. Okay, and these wolf boys produce fur all over their bodies. Okay, these manifestations did not occur in African culture. Okay, black people do not have these type of birth defects or skin defects. We don't have that. You know what I'm saying? We do have, like I said, albino people that come out missing a high percentage of their skin, but that's about it. We don't grow tails. We don't produce fur. And anyway, we could never have this hereditary disease, this fur hereditary disease, because we don't produce fur. We don't have fur anywhere on our bodies. So there's no way for us to have this type of disease because we will have to produce fur in order to have fur all over our bodies. So we know that these birth defects do not come in African people. It doesn't come in African culture. Okay? And you black people need to really understand and start researching these things and understand that these creatures are not a representation of you. Okay, and now what I want to get into is why I think they're here. Okay, like I said, I believe they came out of sin, and their only sole purpose on the planet is to steal our identity. Okay, these creatures, these straight-headed creatures, okay, are fur-headed creatures. They do not have an identity. Okay, if you trace back any ancestry or any culture on the planet, you're going to find Africans, okay? Which means the Africans originated every culture on the planet, okay? There is no culture that these people are responsible for, okay? The whole concept of God came from Africa. It didn't come from any other place. It didn't come from any other culture. It came from our culture, okay? These people have no God, and they have no spirituality. And that's what separates us from them, is that we have a spirituality and they do not, okay? They're spiritually dead because they're not humans. They're just imitating human behavior. They're imitating us. Everything we do, they do. Because why? Because they have no identity. That's why. So their only sole purpose is to steal yours, because they don't have one. Okay? We could train, just like you could train any animal to do anything, to do tricks and things like that. You could train these creatures, because I'm not I think they're half-blooded animal, but I just think I'm gonna call them creatures because they're creatures of some kind. They look half human, half, I don't know what they are, but I just know this, that they don't have no identity, and their only purpose on the planet is to take our identity and completely eliminate us off the planet. And that's what's happening right now. That's why they're encouraging this interracial dating and all this other stuff, is because they're trying to poison off our gene and turn us into one of them. Okay? These people do not love us. I don't care how much they say they love us and all this other stuff. It's just simply not true. They don't love us. They want us eliminated. Okay? When you are a black woman and you have a non-black man trying to date you, it's because he wants to be you. Okay? He wants to be a part of you. Okay? He wants to take on the identity of your mate. Okay? And that's the same thing with black men. If you're dating a non-black woman, she wants to be with you because she wants your woman's identity. She wants to be a part of you. She wants to morph herself into one of you, but you can't. She can't become one of you. You can only make your kids become one of her. Okay? And y'all need to understand this shit is really happening. Okay? These creatures are trying to steal our identity and steal our land. And y'all have to understand, this land belongs to us. Okay? Africans are, this whole world is ours, because we are entitled to the world, because we were the first here on the planet. We predate these people thousands of years. Okay? And y'all, this is a fact, a historical fact. Okay? So this whole planet belongs to us, and these people, they're going around trying to steal our identity. They stole our culture. We went into slavery all over the world. Okay? And then what did they do? They stole they stripped us down, stole our identity, then taught us that we're inferior to them and that we don't serve no purpose. Now they're trying to get us to mate with them, and they're trying to convince our children to kill off their offspring. Okay? These creatures cannot be trusted. They don't have no spirituality. They don't have God. They don't have an identity. So their only sole purpose is to steal yours. And you have to understand that, black people, this is very, very serious. This is not a game. Okay, this world is a showdown of different races and different gods. Came out of sin. It did not come out of good. It did not come out of God. And let me ask you this. Why would God put people here that can wipe out his original bloodline anyway? Why would he place them here? If we can't procreate our race with these people, then what are they here to do? You have to ask yourself these questions. Because these people are not a representation of you. And I don't give a damn how much they try to convince you otherwise. It's not true. They are not a representation of the African people. Okay? And they're trying to be one with you because they want your identity. When they try to have sex with you, it's because they want your identity. Okay? They're trying to turn you into one of them, and they're trying to convert you into their false idol worship. Okay? You black people need to understand this. You need to start researching things and try to, discover, the truth, because this stuff is really happening right now, and it's the devil. Okay? That's all I want to say. Thanks for watching my video.